everybody. I'm with Christian.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, Christian. It's been ages since we've done a hangout. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Mustn't grumble.
You didn't. I don't think you want to talk that much about it, but you didn't have some very good news yesterday, did you?
No. One of the family members died, and there's been like calamity in the family about it.
Yeah, so sorry about that. Anyway, big hugs for him, the person that died. We've got a pitchfork on the front here because you think that's where we're going to, is pitchfork territory again.
Well, it's coming with everyday business and events that wherever they're going. So, yeah, it's looking likely.
Yeah, well, we've come together because we just want to talk about the hell that we live in. Isn't that right?
Well, yeah, with the messed up history that we're finding out, or we have been finding out over the last few years, and the way it's all being controlled coming forward.
Yeah, Alex sent me something, which I'm going to read to you. I read it to you earlier on. This is what she said. She said to me earlier today, I've just left a comment under one of your videos. It's very scary understanding that we're not exactly human. Life is a simulation, but it's the only one we know, so it's not the best. I mean, it's not that bad. There are beautiful things, nature, books, art. I just don't understand why the creator wants you and me to realise this. Why? Why create a simulation and then tell the player it's a game? And then she says, I apologise if I sound a bit crazy, which of course she doesn't. And she sent me a couple of others. She said, just now, that was her. I was going to ask you who this person is. Oh, who are they on about? He's on my friends list and he's... Oh, she's talking about something else there. Oh, right, okay. I'll have to message her back about that. That's about someone else. But she's right, we do live in a simulation, don't we?
We live in some sort of simulation. It has to be, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because we're in one, but we're not. Because, you know, if you pinch me, it hurts. So we are feeling things, even if we're not I don't know what this is. I mean, look at our brain. How does our brain work? We're in this body. We don't understand it all. No one can pinpoint why we see, feel, register, you know, history goes in. No one can tell us.
Well, our brain works on the basis of electrical impulses, doesn't it?
But is it? It's our stomach that's the brain. What it is your stomach is the brain. Your head is just the thinking part of the brain. Your brain is your stomach.
Well, the brain analyses it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like your tongue is the taster. Your stomach is the kettle, basically, that boils it and brews it or whatever, and the brain analyses it. Bit like your pain points, isn't it?
Yeah. Exciting picture of this pitchfork, by the way, on the screen. Let's look at medieval ones. Arr! Tartarian ones. Oh,
yeah, one of them. Yeah, that's a good idea.
They look more or less like ours. Well, that one looks... So those pictures are a little bit more interesting. We'll leave it on that one. Yes, it is a bit weird. I said to Christian, I'm running out of words to try and explain what we're living in.
Well, I think on the basis of when you go to TV series, films, or movies, and you see the amount of movies that have been made that we live in some type of matrix or simulation, you know, you're going back more or less 50, 60 years.
Well, some people definitely get it. There's a lot of people that come on the channel, including Alex, who understand. But there's many, many who don't, even if they think things are wrong. So explain that then, Christian.
Well, it's down to Photoshop, isn't it? We know that in earlier days that some of the photographs have been photoshopped, and even some of the film footages were, you know, not CGI in the days, but they were more or less. I'm talking about the very earlier ones, that they were superimposed, and some of the stunts weren't as you saw them. You know, so you know when you look at the modern day film industry, it's like everything is nowadays CGI, and it's based on CGI and special effects. So would you take on that?
Well, you didn't obviously watch my video that I put out, did I? It wasn't my video, it was Hard News TV. And basically what they do is, and I know this is how they do it, this is why I say everybody's a cartoon. They basically go in, they take 10-15 minutes of you, and then they base everything that you do off that 10-15 minutes. So you're out in the rain, you're whatever you're doing, you're in a studio, you're riding on a train, whatever it is that they want you doing, if you're an actor or on the news, whatever it is, and then you're doing it, but it's because they've recorded you for 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've even watched reports where...
So it's just CGI. Everything is absolute CGI.
Well, I wouldn't say quite everything is CGI, because some of it is what you call orchestrated as an event that never happened. Although they orchestrate it and demonstrate it as something that's just happened, when in fact it hasn't really happened, because it's been a set that's been put together, even by our news teams, which disgusted me something greatly.
Do you want to hear a tiny bit of hard news, and then you'll know that we're talking the same thing? I'm going to put a little bit of hard news on for a moment, and then we'll come back.
Deception is everywhere, and don't believe anything that you see, even if you think it's a leaf. Thank you for tuning into the Hard News TV channels. I'm your host, Terry Lynn, and this is the channel where truth is like archaeology, and every day we're digging for it. Today is October 8th, 2021, and let's get into this concerning top 10 today. This is from today, from the Wall Street Journal. Now, flying microchips are headed our way. Don't be needing to worry about pollen anymore going up your nose. There are bigger problems coming. Everything is not what it seems. Let's go to article number 2. This article is from today, from CBS News. Deepfake technology could soon allow anyone to create Hollywood quality visual effects. Sunday on 60 Minutes, Bill Whitaker demonstrates the magic of synthetic media, allowing for the creation of photorealistic videos and sound recordings completely generated by computers. What if some of the news stories that we're seeing aren't computer generated? Let's look at this real quick.
All it took was 8 minutes of me reading a script on camera for Synthesia to create my synthetic talking head, complete with my gestures, head and mouth movements. Another company, Descript, used AI to create a synthetic version of my voice. This is Bill Whitaker's synthetic voice with my cadence, tenor, and syncopation. This is the result. The words you're hearing were never spoken by the real Bill into a microphone or to a camera. He merely typed the words into a computer and they come out of my mouth. It may look and sound a little rough around the edges right now, but as the technology improves, the possibilities of spinning words and images out of thin air are endless. I'm Bill Whitaker.
Y'all pay attention where this is going. It might seem boring, but it's gonna light up.
It's about realizing that it's inconceivable to be where we are. No imagination could dream up that. To release a new album after 40 years and still be the best of friends and still be enjoying each other's company and have a total loyalty. Who has experienced that? Nobody.
Now here it's about to get interesting.
People have often talked about whether you can create either people who have lived in the past or people when they were younger, and we actually create ABBA in their prime. 1979, we are creating them as digital characters that we will then be using performance capture techniques to animate them and perform them and make them look perfectly real. And that started, first of all, with the present-day ABBAs. We did some performance capture on them, and that's formed the basis for the whole of the project, the backbone.
Agneta, Frida, Benny and Bjorn got on a stage in front of 160 cameras and almost as many VFX geniuses. And they performed every song in this show to perfection over 5 weeks, capturing every mannerism, every emotion, the soul of their beings. So that becomes the great magic of this endeavor, that when you see this show, it is not a version of or a copy of or for people pretending to be ABBA, it is actually them.
What you're gonna see when you come to this show is us.
We're going to have 4 of ILM's global studios working on the project. So the team size, it'll certainly be somewhere between 500 and 1,000 artists around the world.
We were in London 3 years ago. I said to Bjorn, do you think it's very clever if we try to tour this thing? Because it's technically immensely complicated. It's the screens, the sound, all the lights. So I say, why don't we do it here? Well, there's no arena, we said. And I said, well, we can build one. London is the town.
The challenge has always been merging the digital with the physical. Make digital ABBA come into the physical world and for the boundaries between those two worlds to disappear. Our director, Bailey Walsh, had to crack that code. And as simple as it sounds, but he did it with light. Light is the connector. Light and audio and this environment is going to be a unique space to be in, which is neither digital nor physical.
Now, y'all, I showed y'all to show you how dangerous things are about to get. Like they're blurring the lines of reality and digital, okay? Now we're gonna have things falling out of the sky that's simulating seeds from leaves and trees falling. It's about to get crazy. Now, while we're talking about this, I've showed y'all this website before. This person does not exist.com. Let's click on it. You click on it, and every single time you click on it, it's going to give you a new face. Okay? Tells you when this one was created. December 2019. You can create victims of mass casualty events. You can create perpetrators, domestic terrorists that everybody's having to get locked down because they're looking for this person, and this person does not exist. Let's go back and look at, you have to always go back and it gives you a new one each time you click on it. So let's go click on it. Okay, I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to just keep clicking on it. So they just computer generate faces all day long. So they could put all these, all these people could die on a plane. They could say all these people die on a plane. They could have a memorial site. Everybody crying, oh, I never knew them, but it's just the right thing for me to do to come. Oh, do you see how dangerous this is getting? This person does not exist.
So I just played you Hard News TV's video. First of all, there's a chip that's floating around in the sky, the size of a grain of sand. It's got little propellers on it. They want to use it so they can detect diseases. They can do all sorts of things with it. You will swallow it and won't even know it's in you. What do you reckon?
I think many years ago they called them nanoparticulates, and I remember my friend talking about these. But I think it was about 7 years ago that he did some research on this subject as well. So there's probably a certain amount of truth to it. But
and then the next bit was the deep fake, that you can now get the same technology that Hollywood has and create your own deepfake CGI thing. And they've shown you a news reporter. They took 10 seconds of him, and then after that, they made everything else up from those 10 seconds. And that is how they're doing it all. That's how we get Biden, Trump, the Queen, Prince Charles, you name it. They're all done like that. It's all 10 seconds, film them, and then they make all the films out of them. So you get 10 seconds of you, and then they can make films out of you, documentaries, whatever it is, sport, they can do anything with you. Everything we watch is CGI cartoons. And that's how they did it. It's in Hard News's, here we go, I'll just show you the video. It's on Sun and Moon, this one here. So I'm just showing people very quickly. That's the video, it's on Sun and Moon, and she explains it all in there. We've just been watching it. How they, there's the, where is it? Ah, there's the little microchip. Let's go back. She's reading it. Let's go back. Come on, where are you? Oh, it's got stuck now. That's the little thing up there. Come on, where are we? Why aren't we at the top? She's reading it, that's why. Let's go back here. Anyway, so it's a microchip they can put into you. Where is it? It's the size of a grain of sand. There it is up there. Why is it in the picture? I'm at the top. Anyway, so the first one's a grain of sand. Then it becomes the Hollywood CGI. Let's go to here then. So a grain of sand that they're going to let out and to monitor everything, which is rubbish. And then here you can get special effects. That guy there took 10 seconds of him, and then there you are. So you can buy the software. There it is. Deepfake technology can soon allow anyone to create Hollywood visual effects. And then the ABBA thing, which I think is incredible. Oh, I was just like, don't people get what they're doing?
It's almost like they're preparing for something. I mean, when you
no, but they've been doing this to us for years. You know, when we watched the $6 Million Man, that was the same. They're saying, like, for instance, that this is new technology, like the one they showed us with, who's the black presenter? You know, female.
Oprah Winfrey.
That's it. They showed you Oprah Winfrey. I put the video out on Sun and Moon with who was before Trump? Oh God, I can't remember their names now.
Obama.
That's it. They did it with Obama. That they're not even sitting in the same room, and then they put this stuff together, and it looks like they're sitting opposite each other and they're having an interview when they're not even in the same room together. So it's the same thing. So they're telling you, but they've been doing this to us. So basically, they're telling you about this technology, and everybody on this video that you see that she's showing you in this video has been done that way.
Digitization and splicing things together.
Yes, and that's why that's why people think they're lizard people.
Well, I don't know about lizard people, but I do know that this technology has been around for quite some time, because I remember watching on one of the gadget shows many years back that the digitization of putting someone's face on top of another body, that's quite old now. So,
well, what it is it's they're definitely doing this to. This is what they've been doing all along, and I've been trying to explain this to you. So basically, they take about 10 seconds of you, and then they can make a whole movie out of you.
Yeah, basically, it's deception, isn't it, on a grander scale? You know, like we know that the main media stations are owned by 6 people. It's probably less than that now. We know it's 2 main corporations that run the world. But yeah, I mean,
they run the world. The media runs the world. They run everything. They run all the fake stories.
It's basically been controlled for a lot longer than what we're used to, that we've known of. But how long has it been?
I think it is, Christian. I think what they did was they bought religion out, because the churches then bought the land. The people were living on the land, and then you had to go to church on a Sunday. So they kind of got you by going to church. They could mind control you, and then suddenly they went, "No, we don't want religion anymore." Which you know that religion has declined massively now. Television came along, so it wasn't religion, it was television.
Well, television became the new religion, didn't it? When you think about it, I mean, I know it's about 70 years ago when the television started hitting the markets. and you begin to realise that people, more or less, I mean, they put the religion on television, didn't they? Eventually, got around about the 60s, where they had the Sunday programs for including the church, you know, like songs of praise with Harry Seacombe and things like that. So the church became onto the TV, combining the both.
Yeah. And this, you know, is what Alex is seeing. I mean, I've got, one second, I'm going to show a couple, there are other videos. She's just, like, I've got to show this because I haven't put this video out yet. One second. So Alex did this. This is a video waiting to go on Sun and Moon. Basically, I was looking at the video. I've done the video. That video will have gone out before this one. But she's got these jagged hands. But actually, this person is this actress, and this actress plays in the Rocky Horror story. So there you go. See, it's the same thing. It's disgusting. I think it's disgusting what they're doing, Christian.
Yeah, it's quite amazing to see the way her hand twists, isn't it? I mean, I did actually have a view of it, and I'm thinking, is that hand for real?
No, it wasn't. And then here, on the very edge of the picture, because I was filming, she has Elizabeth Taylor, who's got one shoulder down here, and one shoulder that goes up there. She doesn't like her toe, and when you look at this, do you see how long her neck is to her head from her shoulders? She's a giraffe.
Either that or there's something wrong with their bodies.
Yeah. Well, Alex can't help but see it. Amy and I are the same. It's everything we watch. And, you know, I get some people coming on going, oh, you don't understand about photography at all. And I'm thinking, oh, I have to try and write them a nice message back. But don't you think it's crazy that she's pretending to be this woman who's with the funny hands? She's got an illness. And then her husband said, she's like a Barbie doll. If you just took the legs off, the Barbie doll goes down to a sort of V shape. That's the shape she's supposed to be. She's got half her back missing, yet she was able to carry 2 children. She's the first woman in the world to have children with this disease. But she's not. It's not her. She's an actress who plays in the Rocky Horror Story, and she's been on some Crime Watch Daily, or actually this was the news. This one was the news, but they're usually on Crime Watch Daily. It's someone else.
Well, one of the things that I want to point out is what you speak about in a lot of your videos. What people probably don't comprehend is the fact that if you've got somebody who's standing right behind a wall and they're being filmed, and the wall is totally out of focus, but they're in focus, but the wall is directly behind them, you begin to think, well, why isn't the wall in the same focus?
Yes,
as what
anybody who sees footage like that, I can't just go and find a bit now because we're a little bit pressed for time. I'm going to see my granddaughter. It was her birthday, so I've got a birthday present for her. But yeah, if anything is blurred behind the people, then the person talking is not with the background.
Yeah, or they've been put in.
They've been put in.
And then when you see the same, if you're looking at 2 people and you're looking at the same area and one part of the wall is okay, but the other part of the wall isn't, you know there's something dodgy about the production of it, that it's not together, it's not one, but people don't know about this when they're looking at it because it looks pretty simple. It's only if you've got that sharp eye, the falcon eye or the hawk eye if you like, that can identify that something's not right with the picture and you understand why it's glitching.
So why don't some of these people who make videos, why doesn't someone come forward and say it's fake and someone big come forward? Why is it? Because they all work for them, do they?
Well, it's obviously the case, isn't it? You know, they're not going to come out and say, well, this person couldn't make it, because it's been like that in the past, hasn't it, where sometimes the person couldn't make it, so they filmed it there and then just put them in the same framework. I mean, they've done this through the last 25 years or so, haven't they? Whether they've just made the connection because of it. Obviously, there was some problem with the transport at the time and they couldn't make it. So they give the appearance that they're in the same place. You know, that's the only way I can explain it.
I just think it's incredible because you already feel yourself telling everybody for a long time since the Watts case went out. So that's where I noticed it. Me and Amy noticed it and other people really noticed it. It was in the Watts case. And then you know it and then you have to still carry on with your life because we've got to live in this thing. And then what it is just lately, Alex is going for it. You know, she's put it. Hard News is talking about it. It's all just fake.
But there have been people that have tried to come forward, or people that have tried to whistleblow on what they actually do. But you find that in the past that they've been silenced one way or the other. They've been silenced, you know, to let people know that the fakery is going on, you know.
Yeah. But the thing is, most people still don't get it. You cannot believe anything that the television says. Anything.
Well, it's not until the point that you get walking up to a certain degree that you begin to realise that it is what it is. And some people have been so programmed most of their lives. You got to remember, the television's been around for a long time now, and most families will have their kids sitting in front of a cage, and it's the light, isn't it? You know, it's like the visualization of sitting in front, moving, and it's like you're watching the world go by, but it's not the world. And these kids, I mean, I was one of them kids that watched Saturday morning television, and when you begin to understand that you're watching a different reality, it's only for entertainment purposes, but people forget this, yeah, and they become attached to it in such a way that they think it's like, oh, I've got to get home, I've got to watch this, I've got to watch that. It's like part of their life, and they become so glued into it that they don't understand it. It's entertainment only. It's not the real world. Yeah, that's the main thing that people miss. They forget it's not the real world, and they forget it's for entertainment only.
Yes. Yes. I'm just showing a picture now of that woman's zigzaggy hands. Like, I'm just gobsmacked that it's the same person. I mean, I took a bit of video of it. I haven't put this video together yet. I've got to put this together. Where are we? So where's the bit with it's her? Come on, where are you? That's my son. I messaged him to say I'd be a few minutes late because we're doing this. There you go. Oh, it's that one, right? That person on the right is the lady that's showing herself with half a body, and that's the actress on the left. It's the same person. She's told everybody on the right that she's got half a body, she's a mechanic, she's married one of the mechanics, and she's had 2 children. And she rides around on a skateboard. But really, she's an actress.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's all about the drama and the acting, and acting isn't real, is it? It's not real life.
I think that when you're an actor, it's a bit like being in the military, and that's why they get all those accolades. Because the better they do for them, the more accolades they get. So anybody that's got an Oscar is a horrible person, is a terrible, terrible, terrible person.
Well, I mean, when you go along them lines, when you think, why have the astronauts got themselves on the Hollywood Boulevard claim of fame on the paths there, you know, the walkways.
Yes. And don't forget, the mayor of London got an award as well. And the mayor of New York, sorry, the mayor of New York.
You know, they should tell you everything about the acting industry. So if they've got themselves on that boulevard with the stars to them, it tells you what they are, doesn't it? It tells you that they've been paid as actors. They shouldn't be on there. It was designed for actors only, so they must be actors.
All of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's plain as day as the nose on your face, isn't it? You know, you don't put somebody on the Hollywood boardwalk, claim of fame, unless you're an actor. They're all actors. Yeah,
did you hear that? The mayor of New York got an award as well. Why would the acting give him an award?
Because the world's a stage and he's an actor within it. I mean, I know
the world is a stage and he was one of their players.
Yeah, Giuliano Golovani, whatever his name is.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, and you know he's one of the insiders, you know, that goes without saying. You know, especially when you see his hair melting in a dye in one of the appearances of recent times.
She had this orange effect on her, but sometimes I was thinking originally, or maybe it's to try and make them look that they're weller than they really are. But it's because everything's fake.
Yeah, unfortunately it is.
And what else have we got on here? Oh yes, we've got, that was we also did, where got them? Oh, there it is. I've missed it. It was the Elizabeth Taylor, but I've gone too quick and I've lost it now. So then I'm putting out this little bit of video of these people. I mean, it looks like it's coming from the church. They can see this light coming from the church. Looks like the speaker behind the thing. I hope it's going to be all right. And then a bit of Giants and Tartaria. And then Gillian, right? Gillian's been telling me how horrible it was in Australia. But you can see that she's been out on the beach where she lives and the people are out. There's no masks. So that's really good. I think that's why she filmed it.
Yeah.
To show that the people are out. Because obviously they've been militarised, haven't they, Australia? Is that the end? Oh, here we are. We've done it. It's at the end. There's more. So we've got Elizabeth Taylor and then there's, who's that one? It's
Rock Hudson?
Rita Hayworth, and she's just saying, painted in legs, long fingers. Why haven't you noticed it? And then I saw this one as well. This is completely different now. It says, an intact underwater crinoid fossil from 345 years ago. And then the person says, flash, petrification, perfectly intact, alive 1 minute, still a stone the next.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been any water though, could they, for that to have happened?
Well, this is it. I think vitrification and petrification can happen in various ways, from what I can gather and what I've researched, that it's not necessarily water that can cause it. It's a plasma effect, electrical discharge. It can be anything of combining things. You know, it's like it's science again, isn't it? It's chemicalization and the way compounds come together. There's so many ways. It's like the mud floods. We don't actually know what happened with the mud floods, whether it was the earth rising, whether it was liquefaction, whether it was ash falling out the air, whether it was a flood. There's so many variants. And when you think about petrification or verification or vitrification, there's so many combinations that we can talk about. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be one way.
Yeah, sorry, so saying something quick to my daughter. Well, yeah. Or what it was is I put that one out about the plasma effect. Oh, she's got a bath going. You hear the bath? Ellie's got a bath going. Hang on, or shower going. It was Methuselah turning everybody to stone. It was like a plasma effect had happened and we'd all been turned to stone.
Well, my example would be like...
And that means the houses weren't really stone in the first place.
Well, this is it. I mean,
they were probably crystals.
When you look at some of the carvings on a lot of the buildings in the past, and if they were wood, it would have been a lot easier to carve on them than what it would have been if they were rock or solid granite, because some of these things are now turned into granite, aren't they? So when you look at the principle that they might have been a different material and a lot easier to carve into, you can understand why they're so delectably carved.
Oh, maybe everything was crystals.
That's possible as well, but I mean, like I just explained
I live in a crystal house.
Like I just explained about petrification. Was it a mist and a discharge? Was it a rain and discharge? Was it water involved in a discharge? This is what I'm saying. I mean, I've watched the military do electrical impulses into water and with movement and different conditions. So the military done experiments like that 40 years ago. So only God knows what they're up to now. We already know what's happening in our skies and with our weather and with the HARP systems, you know, and the way they're controlling the jet streams. So, you know.
I've got something else to show as well, which, hang on a second.
abandoned, though. That's what I don't get. Why?
Yeah, when you look on the internet, if you just everybody put abandoned in, abandoned houses, abandoned buildings, abandoned palaces, you would be there for months watching all the videos of the abandoned places there are. I'm told that's what I'm saying. We're living in a derelict place. But I just want to show. Wait. Let me just show you this, Christian. This is a house, right? This is a forgotten billionaire's house. When you look at the back of it, it kind of looks like Buckingham Palace. I just thought that was a bit strange. I was going to do a video about it, but I've just got bits of video on, and also like I think it was there when I saw these plans for it was Windsor Castle and Buckingham Palace. The part of it is exactly the same, and the builder built more or less exactly the same buildings. Obviously, Windsor Palace has been added on to a lot more, but they both had mounds, and we can see the one at Windsor, but we can't see the one at Buckingham Palace anymore. So I reckon that thing out there, you know, with the monument on outside Buckingham Palace, the horse or whatever it is. What is it on the roundabout?
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
I reckon that's where a pyramid was there.
It's quite possible.
I found one in London as well. I went there. So it's got a capstone on it. This is a pyramid. Look at the shape of it somehow. I think maybe it was it a star fort originally?
I don't know, but I know the mound you mean in Buckingham Palace. Why is it we only see it from time to time? When you viewed it last time, it was the first time I saw it. You know, when you said about the pyramid inside there, and I thought, well, where is it? And I rewound it, and then I thought, oh yeah, there it is. And I'm going, well, what's that doing in there? You know, I was just surprised.
Someone was telling me, I can't remember what it was in a comment, I think, that this housing estate was being built. And what it was is they hit this structure underneath the ground. And it was so big, they built a roundabout instead over the top. So the structure, the end of the structure is in the roundabout.
Yeah, well, you'll find that there's a lot underground from what I've discovered in so many places. It's like we're living on a new level. That's what it feels like. We're living on a new level. I mean, I've followed these two lads that have done videos in various cities, and there's so many places underground. You think it,
Christian, when you look, my point I was going to make about this video was just look at these castles. I'm sorry, people on horses and carts could not have built these castles.
I know. Well, this is why I was just speaking
and
to a
there's not
friend.
just one castle, there's hundreds of castles, thousands of star forts, hundreds of pyramids.
Well, these are all different ages of empires.
And that one's built out in the sea and it's sort of star forty like. The best castles in Greece. That one's out there on its... I mean, these castles, look at that one. It's all built up on rock. Oh, look at that one. Some of them are so intricate.
Well, I'm still waiting for someone to say to me, for absolute definite, which came first. It's like you're asking that same question again. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, you've got these ancient castles, and some of the brickwork on them looks so ancient, you think, well, did the pyramids come first? Did the star forts come first? Did the castles come first? Did the Roman temples come first? It's like very confusing, because when you look at in certain places in Scotland, you've got these older buildings which are really, really old, which look like they've been burnt, fired, or whatever, and they look really ancient. But then you've got the Roman buildings, like the Romano-Greco buildings, which look a lot newer. And you think, well, we were told that the Romans came first and these other buildings came secondary. And you think, well, that can't be the case, because these look like they've been weathered.
But
for
when you look at all the different, I mean, we've got 4, 5, 6, just in these pictures here, 6 different kinds of castles. Which one came first? Which ones came first?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like there was different ages of building in the various type of castles, because you got the ones with the turrets or the
Gothic. There's the Gothic-looking ones.
Yeah,
and you've got the round ones, a bit like Donington, and then you've got the more intricate sort of spiral ones.
Yeah, and you've even got the sort that look like mini star forts, but they're not star forts, they're castles, but they were built in the fashion of the star forts. So is it like we do our fashions, we move from one step in clothing to the next bit of fashion, and I think it's probably the
Hey
Star Force.
Christian,
Probably
I'm
came first.
just gonna throw a castle up. It'll only take me, because of the stories they say, it'll take me 2 weeks and we'll have a castle.
Well, there was this guy in USA. Apparently, he used vibration to move the rocks, big rocks. So if that was the case, and he did this in the past, it would have been quite easy to build something like that if you could
Yeah, but
stand
they
it
are
up.
so big, some of these castles, Christian. They're like half a mile big. You don't forget, you know, when they were building in the, when they were doing the, what's it called? They call them expeditions, you know, the shows. They did it in Chicago, you know, in 1800s.
Yeah.
All
I was
those.
just speaking to a friend Cheryl about it, and she said that she's had a look at some of the things that I've posted, and when she sees the people, she said they weren't just big, they weren't just over big, they were over the top big. That's what she said, over the top big. So you think, well, who built these, and why did they build them so massively over the top? You know, you're talking of giant buildings, and they covered, what was it, 9,000 square feet or square
Yeah,
meters?
some of the buildings they built were 9 acres big.
That's
Look, we're talking of the 1800s in horses and carts. That is a monster building, and it was already built in the 1800s. They were just doing this for the exhibition. So you had buildings like this everywhere already. So they're just so... Do you know what it is? It's like they've got rid of a couple of 100 years or something. They've squished it all down. So they've made up this long beginning, squished down the truth and mashed it all up so we'll never get it, and then pretend we're here and that we're in democracy when we're still in the Holy Roman Empire.
Well, John Levy would say you decide and make your own discernment about it. But my great uncle would say the band played Believe It If You Like. Now, that's like a saying, when I say the band played Believe It If You Like, it's like a lie. I mean, they reckon they built these places all over America. No, it wasn't just America. There was some in Brazil, there was some in Argentina. These festivities or the conventions of the era they had at the time, they were all over the place. And what they're telling you, but once it was over, they just decided to destroy them all. And that doesn't make any sense.
You think there are a lot of castles and buildings broken and just a couple of stones in the ground. God only knows what we really look like. It would have been Avalon.
Yeah, it would have been beautiful, I think, if they'd left them. I mean, a lot of these places were called white cities, weren't they? They weren't just little places, they were called white cities. And when you see the one in Chicago...
Yeah, and everybody's worried that they're trying to get rid of us today. They already done it. They already got rid of half the people because there seemed to be... I mean, if you believe, which I don't believe the films, but if you believe that there was a lot more people, they're always talking of hundreds of thousands. Well, we don't have armies that big anymore. It's just, where have all the people gone? Look at the videos. They always show you hundreds of people. We go out today, it doesn't quite look like that. I know that we've got computers and stuff like that, and we order online a bit and rah-de-rah, but where have all the people gone? We're the stragglers.
The theory is that these people who are in power, like the major players, the elite of the elite, they say that we're using too much stuff, but I can't see that myself because with all the researchers that I've followed throughout the last decade, they show you all these old maps of Tartaria and probably the empire before, and you look at there's so many other places that covered towns, cities that we don't even know about anymore. And when you think that there were so many cities, there had to be billions more people, and I mean billions more people, because there's places in Antarctica that we're not allowed to go to, but yet the older maps show you that there were cities there. So you think yourself, we're being played here. You know, we're definitely getting
We're
played.
like the stragglers. Maybe that's it. Maybe they have to wean us down, and the ones that are left are the awake ones. I don't know.
Perhaps that's what they're getting rid of, you know, because when you look at the people that are jumping at jumping the queue basically to get themselves the Jabberwock, you know, and they don't know any better, you know, they're just following a trend of being the walking zombie. And I know most of my friends are awake to what's going on, you know, on my friends list. So you know, there's something like what you just said. Perhaps that's what they're doing.
Well, we don't know what they're actually doing to us through the television.
Well, I know it's program me, the way it's spelled. Program me. That's how it's spelled. You know, that's like the witchcraft of old, isn't it? Program me. And yet they tell us that they got rid of all the witches. Well, when you look at pharmacia, you know, what is it they're doing? They're making a witch's brew with dead cells. You know, and baby cells at that, or aborted fetus. So, you know, when you put that together, you know, I have no leg of frog, you know, you've got a witch's brew there. And they're doing exactly the same thing. But they're using dead, you know, things that are dead. You know, so you're putting dead things into your body.
Oh, I know, it's disgusting, Christian.
You know, what else can you say?
Christian, I have to go soon.
Right, well, shall we call it a day for the time being then?
We'll get to 40 minutes. We're on 37 minutes, but I've been trying to have this hangout for Christian for a few days, and I can't remember what happened on the first day. And then yesterday was a bereavement, which you're a bit upset about, so... And then today I had to do a few things. My cooker's gone as well, so I had to go and sort out another cooker. Oh, yeah. I said, are you trying to test me?
That's what I felt like. But I think that's what we're in. I think in this world right now, we are in some sort of test, and I think we are being tested. To a certain degree, we're being tested. I think when I go to look back at my life, we're all being tested, all of it, each one of us in our own little way. But for the sleepers, I have got no idea about. I really haven't. You know, it's like you say, why are we awake to everything else that's going on, and so many people aren't? You know,
well,
you've got...
I said, do we carry some elongated headed genes? Or are we on the spectrum of autism, Asperger's? So it doesn't mean we are those things, but we've got a spectrum, and those people are different, and it doesn't work. Whatever happens, you might think, oh, look, they're doing all those funny things. It's because they're hypersensitive. So we're sensitive. So...
No, I don't... I think we are what you call, like the program, there was a series called The Originals. I think we are the originals, or part of the originals. And I'm deadly serious about it, and that's why it's so hard to pull the wool over our eyes. It's so hard to put us to sleep, to get us into that dumbed down mode. Although there's been times in my life...
Well, we were a bit like that, Christian, because we were like it for a while, and we believed everything that we were told, and plastic 80s and all that.
Yeah, I was just
but
going
now
to
you
that.
realise that it's just like the films, that they gave you all these false memories.
I think I woke up about 17, 18 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that, when I realised that someone was playing on my game console, and I saw the way he had gotten addicted to it. It was one of my friends, and he got so addicted to it, it was like he was drawn in. But that was me sitting there at one point, and I know it was me sitting there at one point, because I used to enjoy my games.
Because you're only who you are with what you know.
Yeah, but I don't think I ever got to that degree where I became as addicted as what he did. It's like, I mean, seriously addicted. It's almost like watching a heroin junkie, not
that's all. That's his. One way or another, you're addicted. Whether you're addicted to drinking, smoking, computer games, drugs, food.
This is exactly what it is, though, isn't it? I mean, I still smoke, and I still have the occasional beer here and there. But yeah, I mean, with everything else that I've done in my life, I think smoking is one of the things that is probably the hardest.
I have to say, everybody, I'm a smoker. It's not a good thing, but I've done it since I was 16. But I don't drink. I think drinking's worse.
Yeah.
Christian, I've got to go, really.
All right, then. Well, we'll call it a day for the time being, then.
Yeah, it's only on a pause. We'll have another hangout very soon. You know we do. And, you know, we don't really know what to say anymore, do we? We're running out of words.
Well, I don't know. I could keep going.
No, we're running out of words to what they're doing to us. It's...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's... the basic word is deception, isn't it, at the end of the day? That's the main point. Deception. I mean, I can't say anything else but deception, because, you know, where else is to go? You know, we're not being told anything by the likes of NASA. We're not really being told anything by the news anymore. You know, you can't even watch the news. That's how bad it's gotten. You know, so there's no real lead on any real format going forward with anything. You know, the government's in disarray. It's not just ours. It's everywhere. It's like we're at a precipice or the doorway of either the end of one evolution going into a revolution and coming out of it in some other format. You know,
I want to break free.
Yeah, I know. You'll see me wearing a pinny and or skirt with a wig, and I'm going forward and backward with the Hoover. I want to break free.
Yeah. Christian, I've got to go.
All right, darling.
I'm putting the pause button on, and then we'll take it off, and we'll have another one in a few weeks. But I do appreciate you spending this time talking to me. Thanks a lot, Christian.
Oh, you're welcome, darling. Anytime. Anytime.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, chat room.
Goodbye, everyone.